All right. So, two models for growing a really successful business. And this is based off of the work of Richard Koch. He was a part of some of the high flying consulting agencies out there, I believe. And so, these are some of the principles that he teaches in his book, The Star Principle. As now, granted, it's been a while since I read the book, so a little disclaimer there. Could be a little bit rusty on the details, but pretty sure I've got the basic principles down pretty good. All right, so here's the thing: growing to grow a really great business. It's hard to grow a really large, amazing business, a really profitable business, being average. Okay, providing average pricing, average services. Kind of goes back to that whole commodity thing. Very hard to achieve explosive growth in that situation. Now, sometimes you can do okay. You can make a living, um, but maybe not a whole lot more than that. Now, um, so for businesses with the potential to grow, really seriously exponentially, Richard Koch poses that you need to have two, one of two different models. Okay, either price simplification or product simplification or experience simplification. So the price simplification basically means the the value that you offer to the customer is the low price. Like that's the value, and then the way you sustain that, the way you are able to be profitable is by having your processes on the back end to fulfill um, really good. So maybe you have a technology that a competitor doesn't have that allows you to create your widget much more cheaply, or maybe you have a technology that allows you to create a widget it's the same price as your competitors. Well, no, that's a bad illustration. Um, maybe you have a special technique for hiring that allows you to hire people who are willing to work for less but still do a good job. Maybe you've got an amazing company culture where, for some reason, high schoolers love working there, and so you don't have to pay them very much, but they love to be there, and maybe you have some kind of perks that cost you very little but are worth a lot to them, or something like that. Whatever the case is, you've got efficiencies that allow you to provide your product or service at a very competitive rate, exceptionally competitive, and like extra low cost. Um, but don't but you're still profitable, right? So kind of think like McDonald's or something like that, where being highly systematized um, allowed them to grow into a major corporation. Now there was other stuff going on there with real estate and all that jazz. It's not just about making a burger for cheap and making it quick and fast, but um, you know, there is the opportunity potentially, depending on industry you're in, if you are a brilliant operations person, you could potentially really grow your company by providing your product or service for a low cost. Now, the other side of the spectrum is what Richard Koch calls, well, now I forget exactly what he calls it. I think it's like experience simplification or something like that. That is where the product or service is so easy, pleasurable, fun, or effective to use. In other words, the quality of the experience is so good with that product that you're willing to pay a premium for it. And maybe you also charge a premium typically, right? But not to the extent that it outweighs the quality of the experience, right? So new flagship phones are expensive. However, a lot of people still think they are worth the money, right? So especially you think about Apple products traditionally are absolutely not the cheapest. They're very, I mean, by some measure, they're very expensive, right? And yet, a lot of people, because the experience they feel is so good, they're willing to pay a premium for it. Now, personally, I'm not an Apple fan, so that's not me. But Apple has grown tremendously. Obviously, they're a hugely valuable business, and the reason they're able to do that was because of the amazing experience that people had with their product. And of course, there were branding and things that went into it, but it was not the, you walk into an Apple store. I'm going to assume, I don't know if I've ever actually walked into an Apple store, but I'm pretty sure they don't walk up to you and say, look, here's the latest iPhone. Look at this amazingly cheap price that we have for you. I don't think that's the offer. So pick your, if you want to grow amazingly, in other words, if you want a business with amazing growth potential, and then consider how you can either make the product simple, as in simple to use, simple to experience, a great experience. How can you make your product absolutely brilliant? Or how can you make it brilliantly low cost and in a way that's sustainable for you to operate and to sell large quantities of it? So I would say probably for a lot of us small business folk, probably the premium experience is a better route. And I think the cost cutting is probably best left to larger companies in many cases. But the large companies started small at some point too, right? So not to say there's an opportunity out there for that. Anyway, hope this was helpful, and hope that you're able to dial in your products and services to be both a huge blessing to your customers and also to allow your business to achieve the growth that you have in mind for it.